You think that just being good, sincere, and giving your all to others will make you loved and appreciated? Wrong. If that were true, there wouldn't be so many good people abandoned, used, and left in despair. The truth is, kindness alone is not enough to keep anyone around. If you lack value, if you don't demand respect, if you don't set boundaries, you will always be the last option. People will come to you when they need something and leave when they've gotten what they wanted. You have two choices: continue living in the illusion that being good is enough, or become strong so that no one can ever abandon you again. This video will give you the answer. But the real question is, can you handle the truth? Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and like if you're new here. It helps me keep bringing you more valuable content. You think you're a good person, and you take pride in that. You help friends, colleagues, even strangers. You listen, support, and give without expecting anything in return. But one day you realize a brutal truth. The people you helped don't truly appreciate you. When you need them, they disappear. When you say no, they turn their backs on you. And when you stand your ground, they call you selfish. Why? Because you've mistaken kindness for being a doormat. The world does not reward unconditional kindness. Don't get this wrong. Kindness has value, but only when used wisely. If you constantly give without setting limits, you're teaching people that you have no boundaries, no value, and that you're just a free resource. And human nature? It will exploit that until there's nothing left of you. Learn from the selfish ones. Look at the people you once thought were selfish or not nice. The ones who know how to say no, who prioritize themselves, who demand respect. Are they abandoned? No. In fact, they are the ones who are respected, valued, and surrounded by quality relationships. They understand that kindness is a currency, and they only give it to those who deserve it. The solution: learn to say no. If you want respect, start saying no. Not everyone deserves your time, effort, or kindness. Ask yourself, does this person truly value me? Or are they just taking advantage of my kindness? If the answer leans toward the second, it's time to set boundaries. Kindness is not about always saying yes, it's about knowing when to say no. A truly good person is not a pushover. They are someone who chooses their kindness wisely. Be kind, but don't be naive. Help others, but not everyone is worth your help. Have you ever felt like you're always the one listening, always the shoulder for others to lean on? But when you need someone, no one is there. Have you ever exhausted yourself trying to please everyone, only to be forgotten by those very same people? If so, congratulations, you've fallen into the trap of self-sacrifice. We are taught that selflessness is a noble trait. But here's the problem. If you always put others above yourself, you're sending a clear message to the world: I don't matter. And if you don't value yourself, why would anyone else? The cost of misplaced sacrifice. Good people often believe that if they are sincere and devoted enough, others will treat them the same way. But reality doesn't work like that. You always listen to others, but when you need to talk, they're too busy. You help colleagues with their struggles, but when you need support, no one steps up. You constantly compromise in relationships, yet you are treated as invisible. When you give too much without expecting anything in return, people stop seeing your kindness as a gift. They start seeing it as an obligation. They don't feel grateful. They simply assume it's your job to be there for them. The solution: give with conditions. Kindness is not the problem. The lack of boundaries is. Ask yourself, does this person deserve my time and energy? Is this relationship mutually beneficial? Am I sacrificing myself just to make others happy? If the answer is no, it's time to adjust. Prioritizing yourself is not selfish, it's self-respect. People won't respect you if you don't respect yourself. Never let your kindness turn into self-destruction. Good people often believe, I deserve to be treated well just because I'm good. They think kindness, honesty, and sincerity will bring them fairness and love. But the world doesn't work that way. You can be an amazing person, but if you don't bring real value, you will still be overlooked, forgotten, and sometimes even exploited. Ever wondered why manipulative, selfish, even ruthless individuals often succeed more? It's not because they're evil, it's because they know how to play the game. The world doesn't care how kind-hearted you are. It only cares about your influence and ability to create results. Good people complain about unfair treatment, how society doesn't appreciate morality, and how the rich and powerful succeed through dishonesty. But that's just an excuse for failure. If you spend your time blaming the system, you are avoiding the real truth. You are not strong enough to claim what you want. Instead of blaming the world, ask yourself, what do I have that this world actually needs? If the answer is nothing but kindness, that's the problem. The most successful people aren't always the nicest, but they are the most valuable. They don't sit around thinking, if I'm good, luck will find me. They take action, improve themselves, and demand what they deserve. You have two choices. Keep complaining about how unfair life is, or become someone this world cannot ignore. Stop hoping the world will change for you. Change yourself, and force the world to take notice. There's a paradox in life. The more people give, sacrifice, and live for others, the less they receive in return. They believe that if they are good enough, kind enough, and dedicated enough, others will naturally appreciate them. But the harsh truth is, the world doesn't work that way. Good people are often overlooked not because they lack value, but because they never set a value for themselves. Look at the people in positions of power. They aren't always the best people, but they know their worth. They understand that everything has a price, kindness, time, and attention included. They don't give unconditionally. They set boundaries, demand recognition, and expect fair compensation. In contrast, kind-hearted but naive individuals fall into their own trap. They give without ever asking for anything in return, and then they're shocked when they are treated as disposable. A dedicated employee who always stays late, helps coworkers, and never asks for a raise will forever be seen as just another worker. A woman who always cares for others but never demands appreciation will be taken for granted until she's drained and abandoned. You think that if you don't ask, people will automatically recognize your value? Wrong. People only value what they have to work for. If you keep giving without conditions, you are lowering your own worth. Learn from those who know how to demand. They aren't afraid to express what they want, to risk rejection, or to set conditions. They understand that life doesn't give you what you deserve. It gives you what you demand. If you want a raise, ask for it. If you want respect, set boundaries. If you want a relationship where you are truly valued, walk away when the other person doesn't reciprocate. Don't mistake endurance for nobility. You don't earn respect by silently enduring. You earn it by standing up and claiming what you rightfully deserve. Kindness without self-respect is just a path to being forgotten. There's a paradox in life. The more you give, the more you sacrifice, the more you live for others, the less you receive in return. Good people assume that if they are kind, dedicated, and selfless, others will automatically appreciate them. But the harsh reality is, the world doesn't work that way. Good people are often overlooked not because they lack value, but because they never put a price on themselves. Look at the people in positions of power. They're not always the kindest, but they know their worth. They understand that everything has a price, including kindness, time, and effort. They don't give unconditionally. They set boundaries, demand recognition, and expect fair rewards. Meanwhile, naive good people fall into their own trap, giving endlessly without ever asking for anything in return, only to be shocked when they're treated as disposable. A hardworking man who stays late, helps coworkers, and never asks for a raise will always be seen as just another employee. A woman who cares for and supports others but never demands appreciation will always be taken for granted until she burns out and is left behind. Do you think people will recognize your worth if you don't ask for it? Wrong. People value what they have to work for. When you give freely without expectations, you lower your own worth. Learn from those who demand what they deserve. They are not afraid to ask for what they want, risk rejection, or set conditions. They know life doesn't hand you what you deserve. It only gives you what you dare to ask for. If you want a raise, ask for it. If you want respect, set boundaries. If you want a relationship where both sides value each other, be willing to walk away when they don't. Don't mistake endurance for nobility. You are not respected for silently suffering. You are respected for standing up and demanding what is rightfully yours. Kindness without self-respect leads to irrelevance. Have you ever wondered why you give so much to others, only to be abandoned? Why you try to be kind, to help, to care, yet when you need someone, no one is there? If this keeps happening, the problem isn't that you're too good, it's that you're choosing the wrong people. Good people make a deadly mistake. They attract and cling to those who don't appreciate them. They believe that if they are patient enough, kind enough, loving enough, people will change and reciprocate. But the truth? Selfish people never value kindness. To them, you are just a resource, a free service, a means to an end. Look at the people you've helped and cared for. How many truly deserved it? How many only took but never gave back? If most of your relationships are one-sided, where you sacrifice while they benefit, it's time for a change. Valuable people never attach themselves to those who drain them. They seek mutually beneficial relationships where respect and appreciation are fundamental. If you keep clinging to people who don't value you, you're not just wasting time, you're lowering your own worth. Learn to choose the right people. Don't waste your kindness on those who take it for granted. If someone doesn't offer you respect, care, or understanding in return, walk away. You don't need to please everyone. You only need a small circle of people who truly value you. Good people aren't lonely because they're good. They're lonely because they keep investing in the wrong people. Don't let that be you. Cut off toxic relationships and give your energy only to those who deserve it. Because a meaningful connection never requires you to sacrifice your self-worth. Good people aren't alone because they're kind. They're alone because they haven't become strong enough to demand respect. If you feel abandoned, used, or unappreciated, the problem isn't your morality. It's how you allow others to treat you. Kindness without self-respect is worthless. You can't expect recognition if you never demand it. You can't expect appreciation if you keep forgetting your own value. And you definitely can't have high-quality relationships if you keep clinging to people who don't deserve you. Keep being good, but don't be naive. Help, but set boundaries. Love, but choose wisely. And above all, be strong enough to never let your kindness be the reason you're left behind, because this world does not reward the weak. Thank you for being here. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment so we can spread positivity together.